Cricket players or teams being angry at the ICC rules is nothing new at all. Sometimes it is the DRS or the DLS. Well, on some occasions, it has actually left the fans and the players too much disappointed. Now, England's Test captain Ben Stokes has demanded an explanation from the International Cricket Council regarding the slow over rate rule, because of which England have faced a total of 22 points deduction in the current ICC World Test Championship cycle of 2023 until 2025. Now, Ben Stokes, in his latest Instagram story, he said that finished the game with 10 hours of play still left. Now, here he's referring to the opening test between New Zealand and England that took place at Hagley Oval, Christchurch. Now, this is where, before we get to his comments, he mocked the ICC by saying that, "Good on you, ICC. We finished the game with 10 hours of play still left." England won the game rather comfortably, but then both England and New Zealand were fined and docked 3 World Test Championship points each for slow over rate at the Hagley Oval in Christchurch. Now, Ben Stokes, he has had his say on the overrate rule. Now, in a nutshell, this overrate rule is basically about the fact that if you're not really able to bowl your allotted quota of 90 overs per day within the stipulated time, then there is going to be a deduction in your WTC points. Now, Ben Stokes has said that the most frustrating thing is that the game finished early, which was very much in the early hours of day 4, wherein England won the Christchurch Test rather comfortably, and then there was a result also. I think the frustration actually stems back to the Ashes 2023, and why he went back to Ashes 2023, because that is where England faced a total of 19 deduction points in the 5-match series out of the 22 that they've had overall this time around. Now, they've had a discussion with the ICC and the match referees that were there in the Ashes 2023, but then so far there hasn't been any conclusion that they've got as far as the England cricket team is concerned. Now, Stokes went on to add that there's never an issue in Asian Test because usually it's the spinners who share most of the workload, and that is where a total of 90 overs or even more than that, 93, 94, are easily bowled in a day's play. Getting told to just hurry up isn't going to fix it because we are out there playing a game of cricket, and obviously it's going to vary from one condition to another, but at the end of the day, the rules are being set for all the teams and they must make sure that they adhere to the demands or the commands that have been set by the ICC, because as it has been rightly said, there is no unfairness whatsoever at all. The rules are set for all the teams. Now, Ben Stokes, he also said that there's so many tactical decisions that you need to make as a skipper, whether that be chatting with the bowler or field changes, but that's not taken into consideration at all. And why it should really be taken into consideration, because as a captain, it's not, your job is not just restricted to the fact that you have to make your bowlers, bowl your quota of overs in a very quick time, but at the very same time, you also have to make sure that if you are fielding a proper pace attack, that is when you really need to push your bowlers to show that energy so that you reach the quota of 90 over mark within the stipulated time. Because the strategy or the chatting, it can actually go on from one captain to another, but then the rules are being set for all the teams, and maybe the Stokes, the point that he makes here may not just be valid, because it's not just the England team who have suffered because of this. In the past, the likes of even India and Australia have suffered because of this in the second cycle of the World Test Championship, and even the first also. And if we go by the inaugural WTC cycle, well, Australia, they were docked a few crucial points, and that's why they weren't really able to qualify for the final, and India pushed ahead in the WTC final, where they faced on New Zealand before losing to them. Now, Stokes also said that he has basically launched a silent protest against the ICC by saying that I've not signed an overrate charge sheet since Lords in 2023, just until we hear back from the ICC. overall it's a lesson we are going to have to take on the chin. And yes, absolutely it has to be a lesson, because in case of England, the 22 deduction points are on them only. They can obviously have those discussions with the ICC, but then the rules are being set for all the teams and they may not really change. The conditions do change. Sometimes the spinners have to bowl more, but sometimes the pacers have to bowl more. But then even in the past also, there have been teams who have fielded those a proper 4-pronged or a 5-pronged pace attack, and then still they have been able to bowl those 90 odd overs in a day. Now, what do you think about Ben Stokes' comments on the ICC's rules? And do you really think that ICC should look into their overrate rules so as to make sure that they can make some necessary changes if at all they are required? You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all the exciting updates and analysis from the sporting world.